Whoa, that's bright. Your girl slash boy is back. You know how people say like, it's your girl? Well, what if I don't always feel like a girl? Do I say, it's your Keara, it's your person, it's your human, it's your boy girl, it's your girl boy, Keara. Anyway, if you don't have any context to what I'm saying, I am gender fluid. My pronouns are they, she. If you are new to my channel, welcome. It is so good to see you. Today we're gonna be exposing ourselves, okay? I'm kind of nervous, but also I trust you guys with this information. For today's video, I'm gonna be going back through all of my Instagram posts and telling you the stories behind some of them that are significant. We're gonna be delving into the topic of like reality versus Instagram, what actually happened behind the scenes of the photo, and then what the actual photo is. Because you know, Instagram likes to do that. It likes to make people think that we have a way greater life than we actually do. In reality, we have a normal life, which means ups and downs, but Instagram doesn't like to show that. I love this trend so much. I've been seeing it all over TikTok and YouTube as well, so I figured I would go into my own Instagram post and do a video like this for you guys. Oh, fuck, my battery's dying. Seriously? Fucking hell. Oh! We're gonna go in chronological order from like the oldest photo to the newest photo that I'm gonna analyze. The first photo is this photo. I am going to point this one out because I feel very ashamed. I used to edit my body in photos, and I'm sure this is like, you know, not that surprising because like so many people do it, but I am so strongly against that now that like I feel really ashamed that I ever did that and ever like posted something that was misleading, something that like didn't actually look like my body, because it just hurts people. It hurts the viewers, it hurts the followers, because it fucks with people's brains. I, in this photo, made my boobs bigger because they did not look this perky. I also sucked in my waist and pulled out my bum. Not proud of that, not proud of that, but we're gonna start on a very honest and vulnerable note. I stopped editing my photos, like adjusting my body, probably in 2017 or something. So I haven't done it for a really long time, but yeah, I did used to do it and I regret it and I'm sorry. But anyways, moving on. This photo, this photo kind of has a funny story. This was on a school trip, okay? I know it looks like a sexy like set, but like this was a creepy farm bathroom with like a creepy medical bed that I'm sitting on. We went on a school trip to this farm. I was in grade 12, but I don't even remember what we really did. We just like pet the animals and stuff. Oh wait, you know what? Maybe it was a religion retreat. It might have been a religion retreat where you like go and learn about religion and pet animals and shit like that. I love the animal part of it, but not the religion part of it. Anyways, I really liked my outfit that day. I was wearing this like cargo jumpsuit type thing. I felt sexy. Me and my best friend went into the bathroom together at the end of this school trip, and I asked her to take photos of me on this creepy hospital bed. And honestly, like the photo turned out great. Like it looks good, but we actually almost missed the bus to go back to school, and our teachers were wondering where we were. And then my best friend and I walked out of the bathroom together like, oh, haha. And people are like, what were you doing in there? And we're like, oh, nothing, just, you know, we had a little accident, girl stuff. But in reality, I was making my friend take pictures of me in the bathroom at the farm. Okay, ooh, this photo. Okay, so notice the caption, unimpressed. I wasn't just saying that. I truly was unimpressed in this photo. I went on a date with my ex-boyfriend, and this was like at the very, very end of our relationship when we were about to break up. And the whole time, like the whole dinner date, I was just thinking like, oh, I know that I need to end this relationship. And like, I feel like he felt it too, because it was kind of a mutual breakup. Like we both sort of agreed to break up. We just weren't on the same page, but it was just so awkward because like we were pretending to be coupley, but on the inside I was like, I know you're not the right person for me. Like I know I need to be with a girl. Anyway, so that's really awkward, but at least he got a hot pic of me and I could post it on Instagram. That's so cringe. This is probably the sexiest photo I have on my Instagram. It looks like, you know, I was in this like, you know, beautiful hot tub in the hills of LA, and like I was on a date and I was wearing my sexy bathing suit. But in reality, my mom took this photo. So basically My mom and I were at this spa. It was kind of like an overnight spa, and we were doing like a little mother-daughter trip. I think it was for our birthdays. And there was a hot tub outside of the cabin that we were staying in, and we were chilling in the hot tub, and I was wearing this really cute like thong type bathing suit. And I was like, Mom, do you mind taking a photo of me? So anyways, my mom is on the other side of this camera, okay? That is the awkward part of this photo. But my mom is chill as fuck. So she was like, okay, slay Keara, look at your booty. Like, my mom is very much a hype woman in that sense. She didn't mind at all. And I was like, I captioned it a dreamy night, as if like I was going on some date, like some expensive hot tub getaway. Whereas in reality, I was sitting in the hot tub with my mom. Oh, okay, next. Let's just give some context to this photo. I was outside of a modeling agency. I had just had an interview with a modeling agency. Being a model has probably been like one of my goals since I was quite young. My mom owned a modeling studio. I was kind of like in the family of models. I remember like walking into this modeling agency, and they always ask you about your measurements, your height. Like for some reason they really want to know like your waist size, your hip size, your height, you know, your weight. And I was not the correct weight and measurement size for a model. And I kind of thought I was too short to be a model. I was also too thick to be a model. And so I thought that this modeling agency was signing me on to be a model. And it turns out they put me in their weird like influencer category, but like they didn't really do anything with that. And like they got my hopes up saying like, oh, you're gonna be on the cover of this, and you're gonna be doing all these print jobs and like stuff like that. And I didn't end up doing anything with them other than I think I maybe did like one hair gig. Like I did a promo video for a hair salon in Toronto, and I got my hopes up so much. Like I was like, great things are coming together, I see you, universe. But like in reality, that opportunity was a bit of a letdown. The modeling industry needs to change, okay? Just gonna say that. Next. This is a cool story. So this was me when I first went to Los Angeles for the first time. We got on a really early flight from Toronto to LA, and then I had an audition that day. We slept over one night and then left to go back to Toronto like the next morning. So it was like a super short trip. But basically the audition was, I was shortlisted, which means like they only had like a handful of selects, like 10 people. I was in the top 10 people for this role. So I went down to LA for this audition, and it was actually, you guys aren't gonna believe this because I've never talked about this before, but it was for freaking Blue's Clues. It was for Steve, like the character Steve, you know how he's like the host of Blue's Clues? I was so close to being the next host for Blue's Clues. And I even went to the Nickelodeon studios. It was fucking crazy. Like it was so surreal to just be there in general, and then to go in the room and like do my scenes and stuff. It was wild. I obviously didn't get it, but I think it was fine because I don't think I would have wanted to do that for years, because it probably would have been like a multiple year contract. I would have to only do that show, and like I wanted to be able to do other things like more adult roles. So anyways, it all worked out, but it was really cool that I went there. Okay, this next photo, I posted this for like a brand deal, and this on my finger is like a hair conditioner, and I didn't realize this, but I was making this sort of hand signal with my hand with the white shit on the tips of my fingers. And later, I found out that all my friends were laughing at me because it looks like, you know, like 2 in the hole, 1 in the stinker. And there's like white shit on my fingers. Anyway, that was really embarrassing, but everyone liked to make fun of me for that. I was just like, you know what? Fuck you guys. I'm gonna keep it up there because I don't give a fuck. But yeah, it's kind of awkward now. It's kind of cringe looking back. Okay, this one. This next photo, this was me in New York City. It was a trip with my ex. This whole trip was just, it was just, and I know I posted pictures of it and like even a vlog or whatever, like acting like it was the best romantic little trip It was not. It was honestly left me with a really bad feeling in my gut. The whole time, my ex did not want to have sex with me, didn't really want to show affection, just like wasn't connecting with me at all, like kind of just was emotionally blocking me out the whole trip, and like I had no idea what was going on, and it wasn't like obvious enough that I would like bring something up to them. But I also like really wanted to impress them and like be a good girlfriend. So like I didn't want to cause waves or whatever. Fast forward to January 2019, my ex comes over to my house and breaks up with me. But before he breaks up with me, he airdrops me these photos from the trip. And I'm like, oh, cute, okay. I had no idea that he was coming over to break up with me. I just thought he was coming over because it was like our 1-year anniversary and like he was gonna surprise me with whatever, like maybe we go on a date. And that is the story behind this photo. Oh, so this photo, I don't know if I want to tell this story. I'm gonna say it and I might take it out, I might not. But anyway, so this person, we were doing some work related stuff, and I was telling them about this person that I had just met in LA, Lauren, and I was like gushing over Lauren, being like, oh my god, I love this person already, like I met them for 2 days and I'm like in love with them and blah blah blah. And they were like trying to talk me out of going to visit them. They were like, yeah, but you don't want to date someone that's long distance, you don't want to date someone from America, like that is way too much work, like you should not go, like you don't even know this person. Like they were kind of like trying to tell me not to go visit Lauren. Obviously like I didn't listen to their advice, but later on they asked me on a date, and I was like, can it just be a friend date? And they were like, oh, I was hoping it wasn't a friend date. And I was like, okay, well then maybe I don't want to go on this date with you, because if it's gonna be a romantic thing, then my heart is already set on Lauren. Anyway, it was really awkward. So that's what's behind this photo. So this is me in Vancouver. I was visiting my sister. This was at the very, very, very start of the pandemic, so March 2020. And something really insane had gone on in my family. There was a big family thing, and my sister really needed my support, and she lived in Vancouver at the time. So I flew out there to be with her, like literally days after we found out about this news, and we hung out or whatever. And then while I was there, they announced the worldwide pandemic thing, and I was absolutely terrified. Like I thought that I would have to like stay in Vancouver until like the pandemic went away. Or I was even deciding like maybe me and my sister can like go to Cincinnati and stay with like Lauren and their parents, because like Cincinnati wasn't getting hit as hard as like Toronto and Vancouver at the time. We were just like freaking out. I had a flight to go home to Toronto, and I almost wasn't gonna go home because I was so scared of going on a flight, but I ended up getting on the flight anyway. I had to go home, but yeah, it was a fucking crazy trip. And here I am, I'm like, oh, I look so carefree on the beach. No, it was a crazy trip and I was terrified. I remember the minute I knew there was like this pandemic thing was serious, I was sleeping in my sister's bed. My sister had gone out. I woke up to her coming in through the door with a bunch of groceries, being like, Keara, Lush was closed. I can't get my shampoo. And I'm like, why was Lush closed? She's like, I don't know, because of COVID. And like, and then that day we had to go out and find toilet paper because we were out of toilet paper, but we couldn't find any toilet paper in any of the stores, and everyone was hogging all the toilet paper. And I was scared for my sister because like zombie apocalypse times, like we thought that we had to like hoard food, hoard toilet paper, as I'm sure you all know, like we were all here during this time. And I was so scared for my sister because she lived alone. She didn't have a huge apartment to store a lot of food. Anyways, it was really crazy. Okay, this photo, I'm bike riding through the city. It looks like cute. It's like, oh, look at me. Like I'm literally like craning my neck all the way around to get like a photo. So there's like streetcar tracks, basically, like a tram, which is like kind of an above ground subway. They're called streetcars, but anyways, there's rails on the streets. And I was riding on a road that had the rails on the streets. Oh, you can actually see it in the photo. They're like little divots in the ground. So anyways, I was bike riding and my tire got stuck in one of the divots in the ground, and I toppled over on top of a bus. So like there was a parked bus, thank God it was not moving, and my bike went woo, and I fell, my arm hit the side of the bus, and then I went toppling down on the ground, and thank the Lord, there was no cars coming or anything. Like there was no cars behind me. But yeah, that was really scary. It's just funny, I got like a photo beforehand being like, oh, look at me, I'm so cute, riding my bike through the city. And then I ate shit. This photo, oh man, just looking at this photo. So basically, it was around October and I wanted to surprise Lauren by taking them to a pumpkin patch to pick out pumpkins and then bring home. And this was all the way out in like the suburbs of Toronto, so we had to like take a train and then we had to take an Uber to this farm. We get to the farm and we see the pumpkins, but it's just, the pumpkins were just in like a huge field, and then there was like a house next to it. And I was really confused because I thought it was one of those pumpkin patches where you could like walk around and there was someone that was gonna check you out. You can buy your pumpkins, popcorn. And it actually turned out that that family who ran like the pumpkin farm, they weren't open. So we walked up to the house and it's like someone's house. So it felt like we were invading like their space. We felt like we were trespassing, but we were so confused. Like I was sure that the pumpkin patch was open. Whoa. I like look in the windows, like I don't see anyone. So I called a number that's on the Google Maps and they're like, oh, we're actually closed today. And I'm like, seriously? We went all the way out here and your pumpkin patch is closed. This is bull. Anyways, I think like the sun ended up coming out and like giving us a few pumpkins, but we couldn't like, you know, take our time and have like a whole pumpkin patch experience. He was just like, you can take some pumpkins if you want. It took us like 2 hours to get there. And we were only at the pumpkin patch for like 15 minutes. And I'm like, okay, you know what, bitch? I said to Lauren, I'm like, I'm wearing a cute outfit today. We're going to at least get a hot pic of me in this field before we go home back to Toronto. Like this was a bombed date. Like I was planning this great date, but apparently I did not plan well enough because the fucking pumpkin patch was closed. But yeah, I was very sad. I was very upset. I felt really bad that I took Lauren all the way out there and the pumpkin patch was closed, but I got this photo. So does that make it better? Willow's hungry. This is when I was having a gender identity crisis, but I was scared to tell anyone that it was a gender identity crisis, so I just said, BRB, having an identity crisis. I just remember like looking in the mirror and not seeing me, like just seeing like someone else. I don't know, it was just a really weird time. But anyways, I'm like, oh, look at me, look how hot I am. But like on the inside, I was like having such a gender identity crisis. It's weird because I feel like I used to be way more comfortable posting photos of my body on Instagram and stuff like that and like showing it off. And like, it's sad because I feel like I don't feel confident enough to do that anymore. I think it has to do with a gender thing, but it also has to do with like a weight gain thing. Like my body completely changed from 2020 to now. And before that, I was still like very much like a teen body. Like I had a teen body. I was like very thin, like didn't have many curves. Once the pandemic hit, like my body changed completely. Hopefully I'll get to the point where I feel comfortable in my body again, but right now it's just like not really happening. And sometimes like I will post TikToks about like body positivity and like body confidence, and that's like mostly for me. It's mostly to just like remind myself of the things that I'm telling you guys, but I do not in any way feel 100% confident in my body, like especially on the days where like I don't feel like my gender matches my body, and like that's a whole different story. But like, I don't know, I just wish I had a better relationship with my body. I wish I could just like go out and wear whatever I want and post whatever I want, but you know what, it's okay. We're all in that boat. I feel like all I can do right now is just like keep sending myself love and, you know, focusing on what my body does for me and not so much about how it looks, and just like dress every day in a way that makes me feel comfortable regardless of how I feel that my gender identity is that day. And that's all we can do, right? Anyway, so I'm gonna go feed Willow because she's screaming at me. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you a little insight into my life, or at least my Instagram posts. Mwah, stay safe. Here's a hug. And I will see you in my next video. Mwah.